Working moms. Let's look into some of the studies and the numbers that are surrounding working mothers. I'm going to share with you some of the challenges that working mothers have, what goes into it, and then we're going to talk about some hardcore numbers of what it actually means to be a working mom and the gap year. My name is Beate Schlitt. I'm the founder and the creator of the Women's Code. I look a lot at the numbers, and I believe that the data always tells its true story, right? So, I have opinions, you have opinions, we can argue, we discuss it, but at the end of the day, we are pretty lucky now because there's been so much data, there's been so many studies done on all different kinds of things that we really can kind of get to the bottom of things pretty quickly. The first thing I want to, however, say for all my working moms, the kids are going to be okay. Okay? I raised a child by myself. She's now 26 years old, and while she makes some, mistakes, but at the end of the day, they're going to be okay. They're all going to grow up. They're all going to be okay. They're all going to fail. They're all going to get back up. It's not your fault. You do the best you can. That's all you can do, and then you push them out, and then it's their job to conquer their life. So, but what about the moms? Because we always talk about the kids and the influence on the kids, but what about the working moms? So being a working mother, first and foremost, is an unbelievable amount of hard work. And it's just difficult because you will be always in this conflict between, should I even be working? Would it be better for my children if I was not working? So I'm going to tell you a funny story about that. So I always had to work. And when my daughter was about 18 months, I went through the divorce. My ex-husband's an alcoholic and a pathological liar. So, I made some mistakes and I had to figure out a way to get out of it. And so it's the first day of school and my daughter's there with a backpack, a little, lunch pail. And we walking in and there's like kids everywhere, like hanging on the moms and like, woo, don't go, mom. And here's my daughter and she just has this ice queen look on her face and she just looks at me all casual and says, you can go now. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I said, what about all this other stuff? And she just takes a look around and she's like, she says, Mom, you and I talked about it. You will be okay. Turns around and walks in with the teacher. So much for me guilt tripping over being a bad mom, just like that. It was all wiped out and, I've not felt guilty since. So being a mom obviously changes you as a person. Your hormones are changing. And when we first have children, it's like everything that we've been, everything that we were, comes to a screeching halt, and then it's a turn, and we go in a completely different direction. And suddenly we don't have our own identity. Suddenly we are known as the mother of. I am the mother of Gina. And that's your identity for about a good 18 years. Is you're just only known as your child's mom. And what happens is when a lot of women have children is that because there's a biological clock to it, window of opportunity when it's a good time to have children, let's just say roughly between 25 and 35. I know women have kids earlier, I know women have kids later, but just for the sake of making a point, let me just pick this particular time slot. That for a woman is not enough time to have made a big impact in her career yet. So what happens is when the man gets that promotion, or the man gets to kick that up to that next level, right? He says, I'm making finally enough money, now let's start the family. So he advances and she falls back. But because we love him, we want to have children, we have the kids, and many of us want to take time off. The studies show that about 18 months is, like a typical time to take off. So here comes the stigma women have to contend with. So when the woman is ready to re-enter the workforce after about 18 months, guess what happens? Here is a study. So Kate Weisshaar, assistant professor of sociology of UNC Chapel Hill, says that people that do not have a resume gap are 3 times more likely to get an interview callback. let's talk about the bias. And what she did is they send out like over 3,000 fake resumes on jobs, and they put on the resume gap years, unemployment, same duration, 18 months unemployed, and they sent these resumes out, and then they checked what kind of came back, and the numbers are truly, truly, truly shocking. So if someone was just laid off and unemployed for 18 months, they still were more likely to get an interview call back, but the working mom. The working mom, if a woman takes off 18 months, she now falls completely to the bottom of the pile. And she is the outcast of society. It shows that 15.3% of the employed mothers, 9.7% of the unemployed mothers, and 4.9% of stay-at-home moms receive a callback, right? So if you're employed, you get a callback. If you have no gap, you get a callback. If you have a gap, nobody cares about you. And the same percentage is also for fathers. So this is not a woman-specific problem. It's primarily a woman-specific problem because women have children and more women take off for the children, for the parent year, than men do. But if men do it, they have the same issue. So we have to, as a society, not just enough that women are feeling guilty about being a working mom, but now we're also completely losing our careers if you do choose to have children, and we're being penalized by our employers, we're being penalized by the businesses, and it's just not right. We have demonstrated again and again and again that the numbers are better when women are in the business. We have to stop applying the same criteria that we're using in the old men's code for men for women, because men don't have children. And so far, only a few men actually want to take the time off. But having children and taking care of those men's social security and their income later on and their survival and all the stuff, that they're gonna get paid for, that's the kids that we give birth to. So we have to stop punishing women. I mean, it makes me, I can't even believe, I can't even tell you how it makes me feel, because when I think about all these beautiful moms that are giving birth to all these beautiful children, and then they're trying to get back to work and they suddenly have to go back to an entry-level position, and I know women like that we're at the director level with multiple six-figure salaries that are now competing for an entry-level position with a 25-year-old. I mean, that's just insanity. We don't get dumber because we have children. We get smarter and more efficient and better leaders because we have children. America, are you hearing me?